Good morning, traders in Asia. Welcome to PrivateerFX Asian preview and our North American wrap. We're coming up on the last trading day of the week, so this is a good time to start looking a little bit more closely at the weekly charts. And there are some interesting charts today. Overnight, we had some risk off in the late Asia, early European trading hours. You could blame it on Catalonia. You could blame it on China growth. You could blame it on Apple iPhone 8 sales being weaker than expected. But there was definitely a bit of risk off, and it didn't last long, as you can see as we get through some of these charts. Let's take a look at New Zealand. Midday in Asia, Peters chose the Labour Party. We were leaning toward that decision. As you see, the New Zealand dollar, here's the daily. We've had this indecision leading up to this, the political news. Big down day on Thursday, taking out old lows at 70.50, closing near the lows of the day. It was a pretty swift move down and then just stayed heavy all day. If you take a look at the weekly Kiwi chart, putting an outside reversal lower week, again below the support, and it looks like we closed right on the 100-week moving average. We're expecting this to continue, sell rally mode. I'd like to sell this tonight up around 70.50, 70.55, which was last week's low, and see if we can get some continuation in the next few trading days back down and test these old lows in the 68 handle. A lot of the strategists feel like this is a longer term negative for the Kiwi. Another interesting chart that we highlighted earlier in the earlier videos, you can take a look here at the 240 sterling yen. Here's this uptrend line we were talking about today. We're closing right on it. 147.90 looks interesting in any sort of risk off or negative Brexit negotiation news. This could get some legs and easily get down to that 146, 147, 146.50, 147, if not lower. As I stated earlier, the risk off did not last long. The S&Ps, let's jump into the S&P chart. You can see, let's get it to the hourly. You can see the sell-off that started in earnest around 2 a.m. right on the London Open. We got down to 25.42.50. Traded in a tighter range most of Europe, and then as the U.S. session does and enjoys to do, continues higher. And let's take a look at the daily. This is crazy. New high daily close. Big wick here. This could continue higher. It really is mind-boggling. I thought for sure we were trading down in that 25.45 area that we would maybe look to take out this low. This was a level we had discussed. This is last week's low, this 25.39.50. But we've got another green week, and unless something drastic happens, I don't see that changing. So back to buying dips in stocks. NASDAQ actually put in a reversal lower day. Again, that was mainly the Apple news. So this chart pattern in the NASDAQ daily still is bearish, even though we do have a long wick, but we closed lower on the day. And we continue to keep a close eye on the FANG stocks. All of them were down about 1 or 2% today, but did have a late day rally. Dollar yen, let's jump over to the dollar yen. Dollar yen stopped up near that 113.05 level that we highlighted last night and had a reversal lower day, but did close off its lows. It got down to 112.30ish, and there's a lot of indecision here. It's getting pushed and pulled with risk and bond yields and the S&Ps. So this one's been a tricky trade, but it did respect this 113. We had figure 10, figure 20 as resistance. It got up to about 15 overnight, and then sold off on the initial risk off in early Europe. Uh, let's see. As far as event risk goes, let's get over to dollar Canada. The only real data coming out of tomorrow is Canadian retail sales and CPI. The Bank of Canada next week is the market's pricing in about a 22% chance of rate hike. So, not expecting too many fireworks over that meeting, and we'll talk more about that next week and in the weekend preview, just to go over the economic calendar. Cable was kind of interesting today. We had a sell-off, which was probably sterling yen driven. Again, this was kind of midnight to 2 a.m. My time, right around the European Open. Then we rallied back up and we failed up here at this 132.10 level, and then it sold off, and there were really no comments. So it was a curious and a bit confusing. We're not exactly sure why it sold off. So it's just consolidating. Again, we've got small lows down here and here on the hourlies, but this is basically a slave to the Brexit negotiations that's going on. And I know Tusk is speaking tomorrow morning at I believe it's midday London. We'll be keeping an eye out with the EU summit that's continuing, and there could be some comments coming out of May. So I expect tomorrow to be less economic event risk and more headline risk going into the weekend. So good luck and have a great weekend, and look out for us on the European Open, New York Open, and a weekend preview for next week's trading. Have a good day.